following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Welcome to PWR Be the Booker, the only way to preview pro wrestling pay-per-view events with the Booker man himself, David Hero.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Thursday edition of Be the Booker as we continue to look at WWE's WrestleMania 28 coming up this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Damian Nelson standing alongside David Hero, and it's time to talk about the two championship matchups, the two most important championship matchups occurring this Sunday at WrestleMania.
It's the only two.
The first, well, the Intercontinental Championship matchup we talked about yesterday with
that
Cody
really
Rhodes.
doesn't matter. This is more important.
Of course it doesn't matter. It hasn't been defended at WrestleMania in 3 or 4 years. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Your bias is disgusting, all right?
It's honest.
The World Heavyweight Championship, the World, I'm sorry, what did you doing? Yes, the World Heavyweight Championship. We've been looking at this whiteboard all week. It's getting a little blurry. Bryan Danielson
DBD
versus Sheamus. Sheamus won the Royal Rumble, has the opportunity to get that championship from Bryan Danielson. Bryan has
Let's not forget, AJ will be with DBD.
A tool, if you will. Well, he can use her as a tool.
I would not call her a tool.
He can use her as a tool. So this is the part where you take a look at the matchup, and if you were the one booking it, you would determine what's going to happen.
Bryan Danielson has done a tremendous job retaining his championship for the past several months, always finding that way out, whether it be disqualification, count out, cheat to win, beating Santino Marella here in Milwaukee. It's going to be very interesting. This match here, Sheamus has a ton of steam going in, even though he lost
It's a shame.
Even though he lost to DBD on Monday Night Raw.
Nobody remembers that. That was a tag match.
You know what? But Bryan Danielson, if he loses to Sheamus, where does he go after this? Now he becomes the undersized heel challenger chasing Sheamus all around SmackDown. I don't see that happening. I think Bryan Danielson is going to find a way once again to retain his championship, and he will beat Sheamus at WrestleMania, which will then prolong their program together, because these two really have been held apart. They haven't had any true physical confrontations at all this entire program since the Royal Rumble. I honestly believe DBD is going to leave retaining his championship.
If you're SmackDown, is it a match that, I'm sorry, do you want a champion that fans want to boo, or a champion that fans are really behind? Given the current state of SmackDown, what's better long term as it pertains to this particular matchup and who walks out with the championship?
What's better long term is that I believe Randy Orton is going to get involved in this mix pretty soon. Okay, so let him chase Bryan Danielson also. Let the baby faces chase the heel. That's what sells the tickets. That's what draws the money. Nobody wants to see the bad guy chase the good guy.
Scott Hall's at WrestleMania?
In the history of wrestling, whenever there's money to be made, it's always the good guy chasing the heel.
Who's the good guy and who's the heel as it pertains to The Rock and John Cena, which we'll talk about tomorrow?
Well, that's a different scenario. That doesn't count.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, let's not forget Sheamus is a member of the Nelson family. And for those of you keeping score at home, the Nelson family currently sits at 2,875 points to your 2,840 points.
It doesn't matter, because at the end of WrestleMania, I have champions. I have Rock.
You think you do?
Have Cena.
The next matchup, ladies and gentlemen, is for the World Wrestling Entertainment Championship, the WWE Championship. Y2J, the challenger, against CM Punk, the champion, the man who has been champion for quite some time since Survivor Series in November. This match has a lot of...
Mike Wicked.
You're being tapped out, sir.
No.
Get.
What are you doing? You're not supposed to be here.
Finally.
Wicked.
David.
My mandible.
Super Fred, how
Absolutely.
are you? Glad to be here. I saw we were talking about CM Punk, and I thought, let's have an intelligent discussion.
Well, you do love CM Punk.
Instead of that other guy that was standing here just a moment ago. What a matchup we've got.
I think this match here is going to be the Steamboat Savage of WrestleMania 3.
That could be tremendous.
Without a shadow of a doubt, these two guys are going to tear the house down. All the hate that CM Punk has for Chris Jericho, the guy that's talked about his father, his sister, and his mother.
You need this, Mr. Wicket.
Oh, look at
this. Thank you very much.
The great Khali dropping off a mic. See?
All right.
That's what I call love.
Good. Glad we got that other guy out of here.
Yeah, well,
this works out much better.
And of course, they can also follow you at at Mike Wicket.
That is correct.
Correct?
2 T's in Wicket. 2 T's in
Absolutely.
Wicket. The hate that's being built up, it's almost uncomfortable for a viewer, for a fan of CM Punk, and I'm sure fans of other wrestlers as well.
It got real when they talked about the alcoholism of his father, the drug abuse of his sister, and then whenever you bring someone's mama into the it never gets.
That's Damian Nelson style.
Absolutely. I honestly would like to see Chris Jericho beat CM Punk, and here's why. If I'm booking this, CM Punk already is the fan favorite. The fans are behind him. Chris Jericho has come back at the Royal Rumble, didn't win the Elimination Chamber. Why would Chris Jericho come back to do 3 jobs in a row? It doesn't make any sense. Let Jericho beat Punk because Punk loses control. He can't handle all the pressure.
Did you see what he did to Christian on Monday Night Raw?
And that's why.
That's the fury he's going to unleash on Y2J.
That should be the downfall of CM Punk, where Chris Jericho beats him because he can't control his emotion. That's what makes Jericho the best in the world at what he does. Teaches CM Punk to control the hate. And then let CM Punk beat Jericho the following month at the next pay-per-view. It doesn't make sense for CM Punk to go over on Chris Jericho. But at the same time, do you want to have Jericho and The Rock go over your top 2 babyfaces and Cena and Punk on the same pay-per-view?
Are you foreshadowing your prediction then for tomorrow for Rock and Cena?
I've been a Rock guy from the beginning. So that's who I think is going to win anyhow. But it's very, very interesting. But for me, if I'm booking this pay-per-view, I know it's not going to be the sexy choice for you, Mike Wicket. It's not going to be like that jacket you got going there. But
that's the only reason I like Jericho. The man has got taste in jackets.
I would be picking Chris Jericho to win. Let CM Punk chase Jericho to the next month and win the belt then. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the way I would do it.
Best in the world. Best in the world. I guess I can go back to my home and let this other guy come back, right?
All right, my man.
Great seeing you.
Hey, we'll see you Saturday.
Have a great time. We'll be live.
Keep Sparky in check.
Very hard to do.
I know how he gets.
He's like the Damian Nelson of the PWR show. I mean, it's very tough to do.
Very opinionated, isn't he?
And usually wrong. Take care, Dave.
All right, man. Thank you. Well, that's it for today's Be the Booker. Tomorrow, Be the Booker, the 2 big matches, the Hell in a Cell and Rock and Cena. And hopefully, Damian Nelson gets back here.